Hello everyone and welcome to Art Chat. I'm Marge Lee and today we're in the Village Church chatting with Anita Putnam, who is the president of the Painters Guild at Shell Point, and David Tompkins, who is also on the board of directors.
Hi.
So welcome to you both.
Thank you.
We're here in this wonderful show that you have put together for Kaleidoscope 2018. So let's get right to it and go take a look at what we've got here.
Good idea.
Okay. So here we are at our first panel, and boy, do I see a lot of color here.
Oh, I know. These are absolutely wonderful.
They are. Now tell me, how many paintings do we have here? How many artists are represented here?
I think it's 32, isn't it, Dave?
33.
33.
33. So that's a goodly number of the
Yes.
number in the guild.
Yeah,
From
that's
every
almost half.
building in Shell Point, we have
That
numbers.
is wonderful.
Yes.
That is wonderful. And what catches my eye here is the color.
Yes, and everybody's different interpretation of what the color looks like.
And
the
I
flowers.
was pleased to see Michael. Some people might recognize
Yes.
Michael. He walks around the island quite a bit.
Yeah.
What a lovely work that
It
is.
is. It is.
So let's move down here. This has some real interest for a couple of reasons. First of all, what we have here is a woodcut print. David, tell us what
woodcut
that
print.
is.
And the artist literally has taken a piece of wood, carved the image, which effectively means that she was carving the white lines, then puts ink on the wood, and then a piece of paper and pulls an image from it.
Amazing.
It's not very often done.
It's
In
lovely.
fact, it's the first one I've ever seen at Shell Point.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, well, here's the first, everyone. So that's fun.
And this one is by a woman who says she's a brand new artist.
How fun.
That she's just starting out, but it's an absolutely wonderful painting. Yes.
And interesting that you have it displayed next to a seasoned artist.
Yes, who's been painting forever and ever, and he teaches classes here too in our art studio.
Wow, look at this. Two different styles entirely.
Yes, we hung them this way because one is more traditional and one is more abstract, and the colors are just fabulous.
They are. Again, we have different materials being used. Talk about this wall.
Well, these are two different watercolors, and the techniques are very, very different.
They are.
And they're both really quite wonderful in their differences. And this is a colored pencil.
You don't see that very much. And that's just a beautiful work. Wonder if that's a granddaughter.
It probably is.
Probably.
Yes.
Well, she's very sweet, whoever
Yes.
she is.
Yes. Karen works in colored pencil by
Yes.
choice,
Primarily,
and
yeah.
she's quite good.
Yes, she is. Well, let's go from colored pencil to looking at an oil, and that's on our panel right over here. Let's lead the way.
Well, this is a representation of our koi pond.
Yes. Yes. Although our koi pond currently doesn't have that many in it, but that's all right.
But that's our hope.
So people can look at this and dream of koi.
That's
Yes,
right.
exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
And this is a charming work, a scene you might see here in Shell Point. I think it's depicting
is.
Shell Point.
Yes, a painting of friends.
What a pretty representation of colors and different styles. What catches your eye here, Anita?
Well, the different colors that play off one another, and the fact that this is an acrylic and there's watercolors. This is partly a poured watercolor. And
Poured means she literally poured.
Yes.
Literally poured, yeah.
yes, and then we have this one, which is a drawing,
Yes.
and she said she did it on an airplane, which I think is absolutely amazing.
That is. And this is a grandchild.
Yeah.
That is
We
a
know that for
grandchild.
sure.
And this is a watercolor also, and that, but they're very different. These are more layered, and this is more loose. So there's different ways of doing things.
Yeah, and that was one of the objectives in this show, was to get a broad variety of artists working in a broad variety of mediums with a wide level of experience.
You certainly have accomplished that.
And
I
to
think.
demonstrate that there's no one way to do things and there's no wrong way to do things.
And I love the colors that people are using as well. And here we have a variety of beach scenes and flowers. So this is really interesting the way you have installed this.
They're all different beach scenes. This is much more abstract and just using shapes and colors. And then we begin to become more realistic. This is focused on, if you look at it, reds and blues primarily. This is a much softer yellow, purple, harmonizing with the sand color. And then you have this one, which is an incredibly wonderful jolt of red.
Pops right out.
Yes.
And that was done in one of the beginning watercolor classes.
Excellent. So that shows residents
Yes.
that it,
Yes, and
the
he
potential.
is just began painting, I think, a year or so ago.
That's amazing. I'm very fond of this work. It's really, really effective. Well, here's some different styles, and the first thing my eye goes to is this fellow. Talk about that.
That's carved wood relief.
Ah,
So it's a three-dimensional image, which is then sort of stain painted, if you will.
my eye goes right up to this as well.
Oh, that's a lovely watercolor.
Isn't that
Yes.
pretty? A lot of detail
Yes.
in the grasses and such. And over here we have detail of a different sort, very charming.
Yes, lots and lots of kids. She likes drawing kids.
Yes.
So,
And then we have art using letters, which is something entirely different from what anybody else has done.
Yeah.
It is.
And this is a lovely watercolor.
I think that's maybe from a vacation.
I think so.
Fun,
Nevis.
a fun memory. And then our final wall here. Wow, beautiful colors. Let's talk about this one first.
Yes, it's a beautiful watercolor. No, it isn't. It's not. It's an acrylic on paper.
Acrylic on paper,
Yes.
treasures on the beach. And the treasures, of course, are referring to a couple different things here,
Yes.
And
the shell
the child.
and the child
The
and
sun and
perhaps
the
the sun.
grandson.
Exactly
Yes.
right. And let's end with
And
this
this one
piece.
too, which is a collage, and it looks to me like it's torn paper. And that's been painted and then either cut out or torn because of the wave showing.
It's
You see the torn edges.
There's everyone see a little turtle here.
Oh, yes. yes.
That's
Oh,
fun.
yes.
I hadn't noticed that.
And the bathing suits
Yeah.
hanging on the line.
Yes.
So that's really great fun. Well, this has been great fun.
Yes.
Thank you for
thank
showing
you.
us the collage that you've
Yes.
put together here. And we should thank everybody at the Village Church and Resort Services for sponsoring Kaleidoscope, which is a wonderful celebration of the arts. So thank you both for being here.
And it's wonderful to
you.
have had the opportunity to hang all these paintings.
Well, and
Yes,
it's
and
wonderful to
show
see them.
all these artists to all of our fellow residents.
They're all treasures, so to speak, here.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
And I'd just like to add that we welcome anybody at Shell Point who would like to join us and who
Yes.
would like to paint or color pencil or do anything they want.
Come on in. It's a creative
Yes.
activity.
It's a creative journey together, as we
Yes.
say.
Well, thank you both, and thanks to all of you for joining us today. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.